This week's sponsor, KR Couriers and Transport Limited, are best known as being a Northwest-based company who deliver newspapers and magazines for local news agents and superstores. You'll find all the information within the description. Please give them a follow. Thank you. Hello everybody and welcome to the Billy Moore podcast, and today's special guest is Marcus Collins. Hello. Marcus, thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having me.
So, no script, tell us a little bit about yourself and we'll start from there.
Okay, I am 33, I live in Crosby, I grew up in Crosby, and anyone who's watching or listening might recognise me from The X Factor in 2011, where I came runner-up to the girl band Little Mix.
How old was you then?
23.
You were young, weren't you?
Yeah.
Still are, by the way.
Nah. Listen, I feel very, very old, but I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a, you know, the stereotype that everyone goes, that cliche, oh, it's a roller coaster. It really was, like, didn't get much sleep, and just going from being on my Mars insurance on like a punto to ending up at Wembley with millions of people watching me and having a couple of quid in the bank and not really knowing my ass from my elbow. Yeah. It was one of them. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
So what was it like? So what was your dreams like growing up? Did you want to become a singer? Did you have any other plans in life?
I wanted to be a singer, definitely. I wanted to be a performer. And I went to college. I left school at 16, went off to go to college in Southport, did 2 years there. Did about 6 months up in Blackpool after I graduated from that. And then managed to book a job, and I was working with a boy band that were called Eaton Road, Liverpool boy band. They were on X Factor come 5th Leona's year. So I did that. So I knew that music and performing and being a recording artist was the avenue I wanted to go down.
So growing up, right, in Crosby, did you ever come across like any gang culture, or what was school like? Did you have any anxiety? Was there any fear?
Oh, listen.
Was it just a normal upbringing?
No way near a normal upbringing. So I was my old fella's from Liverpool 8, and he's passed away now, but apparently he was a bit of a lad up there and everyone knew him. So I ended up being brought, because when he went away, he ended up coming back down to Crosby and lived with me nan and granddad and my uncle, and it was madness for me because I still had family in Liverpool 8. So on the weekends I'd go up to Tocky, and then during the week I'd be going to school, but I'd just be in a community where I was the odd one out and everyone was white working class, and then there was me. So I just stood out like a sore thumb, and having spoke to me nan about it now, she said it must have been so hard for your mum, like pushing the pram, because when I used to push your pram I'd get looks or comments and stuff. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it was necessarily a normal... I had a normal upbringing, but socially it was different for me. It felt, and I always knew that everyone was watching me, or if I got into any trouble, they'd know, there's the black lad, it's him, or whatever.
So you always felt different?
I turned it into a positive. I started to dress outrageous and wear bright clothes and just be like a huge personality, and I made myself...
a target?
Well, you could call it that, that was easy. Yeah. I made myself stand out, because there was no way I was ever fitting in. So I just leaned into what I could use. And I had a ball. I always felt like I was like off the telly anyway, to be honest. Yeah. Because everyone was always on me.
So where did the singing begin?
Singing began in school. So I was about 12, 13. And I noticed that I was doing good with my grades. I'd stay behind. I did my GCSE a year early. And was on a gifted and talented project within the school. Yeah. So I was able to like stay behind and do different events with the school and represent them. I ended up recording an album because we were lucky enough to have a recording studio there. I toured Barcelona as the lead singer of the gospel choir. Like
this at 12 as well.
This is like 12 to 15, yeah. Brilliant, so I ended up doing bits and bobs. Got a little taste of musical theatre, and that was it. Singing hairdresser from then. I was hairdressing on the side to try and get like singing lessons and do other stuff. So that was my Saturday job.
So it wasn't like your life wasn't handed to you on a silver spoon. You had to get out there by the sounds of it and work.
Absolutely.
And pay for these singing lessons. Well, so what's the importance of having singing lessons? Because if you can sing, you can sing. In my mind, that's. See, I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is something that the audience might wanna.
Okay, so there's different types. So there's different types of singers. Some rock singers can just go out and scream, and you know, you probably heard like the death metal ones where they're like sound like the devil. Like there's all different technique. It's like dancing. Just because you can do ballet doesn't necessarily mean you can do hip hop or street dance or popping and locking. It's all a different niche. Yeah. So for me, singing was just something I knew I loved to do, and it made me feel good, and I got good feedback from it. I needed to do singing lessons because I could sing, but I didn't have technique. So I needed to learn about breathing. I needed to learn about vowel sounds, about placement, how to prepare, how to warm up, how to cool down, how to sustain when you're in a job. Are you getting enough sleep? Do you drink enough water? Are you screaming and shouting on the weekends when you're out? All of that.
It's crazy, you know. You don't realise what goes into just like being a singer, really.
A lot of sacrifice. You can't have dairy. You can't have... And I loved like milk, cheese, chocolate. I've had
so why can't you have dairy?
It's just clogged you up. You can't have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really bad. A lot of sacrifice.
My fucking singing career is well over then. So you realise you could sing between 12 and 15. You were doing a lot of travelling with the school.
Yeah.
That must have been really exciting for you. So where did you know up until 23, what were your plans before you entered into the X Factor?
At that point, I was working as a mobile hairdresser and trying to get my body together. I just moved out of my Mars. I had a partner at the time who I'd met in the boy band. We'd been together for like 5 years. So we got a place, we got a dog. So I was just trying to like make sure I had money coming in, was working, doing hairdressing, keep myself busy, keep myself booked, running my own business, basically self-employed, and just trying to get my head together. So I knew that the minute an opportunity came, I'd be able to sustain myself and I'd be able to last and keep my place going and keep my relationship going. I was doing that, doing hairdressing. I was also singing with a live band that were down in Stourbridge, just outside Birmingham. So that was amazing for me to kind of orchestrate the band and work with the musical director and say, what about stabs on the horns? Can you come in on 7 on that instead of 8? Like, I want you to push that bar. Yeah. And I got to manipulate the music and create my sound and the feel that I wanted. And I really cut my teeth doing that down there. Yeah. A guy called Mick Willits who really had me back. There's a few people down there who really held me up. Yeah. You know, starting off in the industry, just some little singer that no one's heard of, and then kind of building up, making contacts and getting yourself there.
That sounds fucking brilliant, to be fair. So what decided, who made that decision about going on the X Factor? You must have heard it from somewhere. Someone said to you, like, look, there's auditions, because you know, you see them, don't you? You go to these auditions. I think most of the time you see like the ones that are singing like fucking strangled cats, don't you? Yeah. And then someone with a booming voice will say, "Oh, fucking hell." Yeah. I think it's made to be like that, really. Yeah. So, that's it. Wow.
It's TV. They manipulate it to be what you want it to be.
So who were the judges back then?
I had Gary Barlow, who was my mentor.
Yeah.
There was Kelly Rowland, who's from Destiny's Child. There was Talisa Constavalis from N-Dubs and Louis Walsh.
Brilliant. So you didn't have the other fella then, did you?
Thank God.
Thank God. Fucking hell, you'd have been slaughtered. You know what I mean?
Listen, I've never spoke on him, you know, never, but today's the day. It's all coming out. Listen, I'm going to let rip.
Yeah, please do. This is great. So you've got this opportunity now to audition. Yeah. How does that go? Because I know I had a mate, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with him. He thought he was like the lead singer in Oasis in his own head. Like, he had the guitar. I didn't get past stage 1, but like, it was the stories that he was selling. It was quite humorous because he'd cause a blagged it, you know what I mean? Was miming and other things. So what was the process like?
So you send your audition, you download the form, get the form, fill it out, it goes over. You then get something in the post that comes back to say, we've received your application. We'd like to invite you on like Saturday the 10th or whatever. And my first audition was in Manchester because they hadn't done... Liverpool wasn't a venue where they held auditions. Yeah. So I went and showed up. We had to be there at like 8 a.m. or something. It's like first come, first served. Want to make sure we see everyone. So we got there at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that was obviously up at 6. Get yourself showered, dressed, make sure you look right, your voice right, you're in place. drive to Manny, park up, get to Old Trafford. We were there from 8 in the morning till 9:30 that night. We didn't get seen till 9:30. By that point, I was ready to knock fuck out of someone. I couldn't be arsed singing. I was freezing. I'd had about 3 chips to eat. I was in a foul mood, just weren't in the mood for it. I was like, this isn't going to work. So it gets there, comes down to my chance to sing, and I've sat and watched the whole of the stadium perform. Yeah. So now I'm like that, thinking, listen, I've got to fucking show out now, got to be good. So I went, did it, and they were like, yeah, really good, really good. I sang Stevie Wonder, they were like, brilliant. Come back tomorrow, we're going to put you through, and we'll pass you through to the producers. Yeah. So whereas when you're watching it on TV, you see it as though a contestant will just walk out on stage. Yeah. There's been 4 or 5 stages before that are behind the scenes that are to do with ITV, to do with Psycho, and to do with the record label. So I got through to the next round, the next day. So I went and met the producers, and I sung, and they were like, really, really good, thank you. We're going to just take a minute and make a decision on whatever. So I was like, sweet, okay. Went outside. A couple of other people went in, sang my song. I was like, this is no good. This is no good at all.
The Stevie Wonder one, was it?
I was like, I've got to do something different. What can I do? Yeah. He went, look, you're good, but it's not the time for you this year. Yeah. So I went sound. Next year, went back, changed the song, changed my image. They basically turned me into one of the jokes. Because I had a skinhead, my hair was white blonde, and they had me saying to the camera, hi, I'm Cisco, and you're watching Extra Factor on ITV2. And I was like, he's making a cunt out of me. This isn't what it is. So I thought, nah, this isn't working again. Something's wrong. I got through to the next stage again, and then they were like, we're not going to put you through to the judges. So I was like, right, okay. So I left it. I was gutted, I was wounded, because I'd really prepped. I'd really put me work in. I was like, I'm going to change it up. And now I'm going to change my look. I'm going to make sure I tell the truth about who I am. I know what my story is. Yeah. I'm going to make this as linear and as clean as possible so they can pick me. And then the next year I thought, nah, fuck yous, actually. He's made me so... I was so down about it in myself. I thought,
this is like the 3rd year now you've been...
The 3rd year. Wow. And they came to Liverpool. And bearing in mind, all this time, my partner had come 5th on the show with a band, so I knew all the ins and outs. I knew what needed to be said. I knew how they manipulated it for TV. I was like, sweet, I've got this now. I've had a year off. I know what I'm doing. Walked in. I didn't mention nothing about my past. I walked in. I had 5 songs ready, and I'd had a musical director play them in my key. Remix songs. I had Sweet Love by Anita Baker with SWV. I had all kinds of belter songs that I was like, no one's singing these. I know no one's singing these. This is mine now. I'm going to smash it. And got through. And got through to the next. And then got through to the next. And got invited to go and perform in front of the judges. And that was the very first time they'd ever held the auditions in Liverpool. Yeah. There's another lad called Mark Byron who's from Liverpool. He's done a couple of reality TV shows. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah. He was the very first audition in Liverpool. And then they put me on straight after him. Mark's audition didn't go the way he wanted it to. So the audience were kind of on waiting. They wanted to be impressed. So luckily, I managed to do that. And I had them all on their feet and singing along with me. And the way it was filmed, it looked as though I come out and just sang Stevie Wonder, but I actually did about 2 songs before that. Got them warmed, they were all... Yeah. And then
so is that what you do? You sing a few songs prior?
You've got to have 5 prepared before you go in front of the judges. Wow. So and they pick what they're going to choose for you.
So you've got 5 songs, you give them the 5 songs, they choose a song that you're going to sing out of them. Yeah. And what was the first one they chose?
I just said, can I sing what I want? And they were like, yeah. So I did Sweet Love, Anita Baker, mixed with... I can't remember. What's it gonna be? 'Cause I can't pretend no. That on Vogue, Don't Let Go, was that. So I was like, boss, I'm going to mash this up. It's going to be sick. The audience went wild. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. And then Louis Walsh went, great job, Marcus, great job. Can I just stop you there? Can you sing another one? What about Signed, Sealed, Delivered? And I was like, oh, fucking hell. This is a karaoke song. He's going to make me sing this. I'm trying to be like a unique artist. Anyway, played it. Fucking crowd went wild. Yeah. They all sung along with me. And I, got through to the next round.
Okay, now that must have been incredible. What was the feelings like? Because that's, it's, to actually get to that stage after 3 years, it's saying, look, because this is the 3rd time, look,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got to this. So the feelings, what you just like, this is just blown away by it all.
I remember standing in the wings and thinking to myself, wow, it looks exactly like it does on the telly. Like the way they've lit. So I was thinking, this is mad. This is proper bad. And one of the lads was like, why don't you mention Marks and Spencer's? I said, oh, that's fucking weird. Why are you telling me to do that? Later found out that they'd sponsored the whole thing. So we ended up doing the winner's single. That was all through M&S, and we did the whole campaign with them.
Yeah.
So when I got on stage, and he said, so why are you here today? And I said, because I just fed up of being skint. I've got a gift. I want to use my talent. I want to entertain people. I want to be able to walk into Marks and Spencer's, not have to walk past it. I was like, yes, straight in there.
So you dropped that one pretty well.
Dropped that, and then they were like, boss, what are you singing? And I was like, I'd like to start with this, and we did.
Yeah.
And it went well. But I just remember thinking, wow, it looks exactly like it does on the telly. Luckily, I'd been on stage at the Echo Arena before, so I knew what was coming. I knew just how vast it is. And it's not one of the biggest arenas in the country, but it's home. And I've had my family in the audience when I've been on stage there before, and I know, I feel safe there. It's a nice, safe space. So I knew what to expect, and Liverpool were on my side straight off the bat. I was so lucky. So lucky.
Brilliant. And then where did it all go then? So
from there we got we got shipped off to boot camp, which was a couple of months later. I'd been out with my mates from school to Ibiza for the week before, come back on the Saturday and had to go to boot camp on the Sunday. That's all I'm saying. Honestly, it was a mess. But got to boot camp, that was good. That was somewhere, we all had to go down to London, queue up, and then there was a coach. You had to bring your passport. Everyone thought they were going abroad, but they ended up taking us to some manor house somewhere in like Oxfordshire or something. Yeah, so did a couple of jobs. Everyone thinking that's it, we're fucking flying somewhere. Big island. Weren't that at all. So we just got through in rooms with strangers we didn't know, and like got hotel rooms you had to share, and it was weird. They were filming everything. Everyone got about 15 to 20 minutes with the musical director to discuss what song you were going to sing and the arrangements of it. Did that, and then next minute we were on stage at Wembley performing them, and then we were put into groups, and it was just everyone was getting kicked out constantly, so you just couldn't rest. There was nowhere. You just didn't know what was going to happen. So if I can recall, like I think the boot camps, how many gets selected to go to boot camp? There must have been, I'd say about a couple of thousand, maybe more. And they put us into 4 groups on the day when we got there, and they filmed it. And like A, B, C and D. And Group D didn't even get seen. They just got, if you're in Group D, you've been cut. See you later. You didn't even get to perform. It was wild. So it was intense, like it was really intense, but somehow I made it through. See, you know, when you were thinking, when you were in there and you were watching everyone else, did you have any feeling or fear about like, what if maybe, you know, I've got this far, you know, it's going to progress, I'm going to actually get further and further. Was it a surprise each time you got? Yeah. Like, right, you're still there, boom, fucking hell. 100%. Didn't have a clue. Have a clue. And it's sad because you'd make friends with people who were there, who you just happened to get on with, or people who were from Liverpool. I met a couple of people, a girl called Sean, belter, amazing talent, but didn't get through. So you're losing your friends and you're isolated, and then you've got to adjust to being around a gang of strangers that you're competing with. Yeah. And you're sleeping in bedrooms and live with them. Do you know what I mean? It's everyone just got through in. So it wasn't a nice feeling. I remember being on the phone a couple of times saying like, my head's fell off. Don't know how I'm going to get through this. It seems, obviously it's not that dramatic, but at the time when you're in it. Yeah, of course. It felt really intense. It must be difficult as well, having to build relationships up with people and only to find out that their dreams are being shattered because they didn't make it. And then having to say goodbye. Did you have the opportunity to say ta-ra to them and having to watch them fucking upset? That must have been a difficult to deal with as well. That was really difficult. And that was just something, I'm glad it happened then, because it trained, I developed a thicker skin for it then. Yeah, definitely. Because I understood that further along the competition, people had to go if I was going to move forward. They had to go whether I liked them or not. That's it. Competition. You're taking bread out of my mouth. I've got to win, and that's it. Like, I'm going to keep going. So every week when we were on in the live shows, when we made to go, or, you know, we were all living together. We were close at this point. We'd been living together for 2 months. Yeah. Training together, having a laugh, eating our meals together, doing interviews for the first time, talking about contracts and solicitors, and ringing our parents to say how exciting is this, look at all the stuff we're doing. And you had to just help them pack the bags on the Sunday night, and you'd be like, all right, see you later. And what were the age gaps between like yourselves and other contestants? Because there must have been a vast age gap. Yeah, some of them, I remember Little Mix were like 16. and I was 20.
They were just kids, weren't they?
Yeah, they're babies. They couldn't do their own washing or cook or anything. I was doing sausage, bacon butties and all that for the girls, and helping them with the washing machine and doing bits and bobs like that. It was, do you know what? It sounds cliche, but it does feel like a family. You feel like a little unit, don't you, when you're in a group? That
well, you've got to live together. You've got to cohabit and share, and not only like with the people you're with, but their behaviours.
Yeah. Some of them were scruffy.
Yeah,
some of them were scruffy. We had mice in the house at one point, and I was like, listen, I'm out. I can't deal with that. That's horrible. Yeah. But we had adults as well, you know, the over 25s. There was people there who were grown adults.
Yeah.
But just that many people who've never lived away from home, weren't capable of, like...
fending for themselves.
They were just kids, do you know what I mean? So it was hard. It was hard in that respect. But it was an interesting journey. It
is interesting listening to you, because it's interesting to follow the journey. Now that you're talking about it, to that final moment. So that must have been. So you get to that stage then, Marcus.
The X Factor final.
Yeah. Tell us about that, mate, because that's that. I mean, the whole of Liverpool, the UK, are obviously behind you at this time, and that's overwhelming.
Yeah, it was.
And daunting at the same time. It's like, wow, you know, your socials. I don't even know if social media was on fire back then.
It just started, so Twitter blew up. Like we couldn't believe it. Just watching the numbers just rolling. Instagram was a thing, but no one was asked about it. Yeah, everyone was still into Facebook and all that.
That's like the Facebook's like sort of like it's like the back burner of everything now, isn't it? Yeah, it's like, party. Yeah, it's not. It's an old school. Like it's been there for years. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So no one really like takes a big interest in that number. It's like it's Instagram and other social media platforms that are exploding. But back then it was Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter was the main one. And we were encouraged. We were actually contractually obliged to get Twitter accounts.
And you got a Twitter account, and what? That just blew up.
And that started moving. But you know what Twitter's like? Yeah. It's just a cesspool for people who've got too much to say.
There's no edit button or nothing. You can't even... I'm the same, mate. I look at it and think, fucking, I've just posted that, and why didn't I just change that? And I'm lucky that the comments again there's not a negative. Yeah. You know, because if you want to say something negative about me brother who's got autism, then fucking help yourself. And, you know, damn be damned, like...
I think the only shield and protection you can get from social media is not to look. I really do think to just take yourself out of it's the best thing. Gary Barlow said to me once, and it's something I've stuck by on social media, never complain and never explain. Because if you're up there and you've got a blue tick and people are looking at you and they've spent money on the phone and they're ringing you, they don't want to see you moaning. Yeah. Put the positive stuff out there, put the gig dates where they can come and see it and enjoy themselves. If something goes wrong, wipe over it. Go for a walk. Go and do something good, give back. Go and do something for charity. You've got 100 things you could possibly do instead of sitting on your phone, retaliating, arguing, because it'll just keep going on and on and on. So that's something I've really learned now.
I know, and I learned that early on, because for me, you know, and that's great advice from Gary, by the way. I was also given some guidance, some advice in the early days about, like, you know, don't get in the ring. Because I was like, I boxed a lot, and people said to me, you know, if you get in the ring with another contender, you've got to fight them, right? You said, if you don't get in the ring, there's no fight. Yeah. So kind of that analogy for me was like, it worked well. Yeah. And you know, it's the same when you look at like 10 reviews, for example, on a book that you've put out there and it's published, and they're all positive, and then there's one negative. You know, I just turn into Liam Neeson. Yeah. Right, that's
gonna find you.
Who the fuck do you think you are, mate? Yeah. So, but then I realised that someone said, look, everyone's allowed their opinion, Bill. It's like, let them value their opinion. Yeah. It doesn't mean, and by the way, it's none of your business what other people think of you. Correct. And that was something for me that I took on board, and that helps a lot. Now, if anyone ever comments, and I do get comments, we will get negative comments, I just go like, yeah, thanks for watching, appreciate your support, keep moving, and that's it. Yeah. Kill them with a bit of kindness.
Keep it sweet and smile.
If you get in the ring, like you said, it does become messy. 100%. So I like that. So for people out there, if you're on socials, don't be complaining or explaining.
Never do. Here's another one I heard last year, and it made me fucking howl. Never wrestle with pigs. Because you both end up covered in shit and the pig likes it. Yeah. Don't entertain it. Don't fucking start something because you don't want to be in it. Let it just sit there.
So there's another pearl of wisdom. These are free, by the way. We're not charging you.
That'll be the title of this fucking podcast episode, won't it?
Don't wrestle with pigs. That's a great title, by the way. Fucking hell, flying there.
Autobiography.
That's the problem I get with this kind of content. What the title's going to be, the headline, because that's something that's got to grab you. Because you get the papers or you see something on your socials and man attacked by frog, lost his life. You'd want to read it, wouldn't you? So that's
pig wrestling.
Yeah, there's pig wrestling. If you see the pig wrestling in the fucking title, don't worry, you know why now. So you've got Little Mix, yourself.
Yeah, and there was Amelia Lilly in the final for that final weekend.
I can't even remember now. It's that long ago. 11 years. What is it?
2011. 10 years. Yeah.
10 years. Fucking hell. I was young.
Is it 11 years now? Oh,
it
is.
Yeah. So because we're in 20. 11 years. So wow. I remember meeting you as well. Just after that. Yeah. Not long after that. I was. It must have been about 2012, 13, maybe less, in Sefton Park. And it was I think it was one of those.
Is it Africa Row?
Yeah. I've got a picture with you, by the way.
Right.
I'll have to send it to you.
Please do.
You still look the same.
Black don't crack, but it do droop. Listen, it took some work, mate.
You haven't changed.
Chemical peel.
So, you've got these three.
So there's.
How was that, mate? What was that?
It's a weird dynamic because the girls and I all got on really well. Yeah. So there was me and Little Mix and 2 Geordies, 2 Cockneys and a Scouser. It was like all we did was laugh, sit in the canteens, have banter together, just have a scream. What are you doing this week? How's your rehearsals going? What are you getting on with? Have you read that? Funny, isn't it? How's your socials? All of that, dead easy. The girl who came third, Amelia, had been kicked out in the first episode. So she came back just before we went to the finals, and she got brought back on this wild cards situation that the producers thought would make good TV, and it did. And she's an incredibly talented vocalist and an amazing performer, and she's been on all kinds. Like I think she was in Shrek the musical. She's done the Green Day musical. She's in Jersey Shore at the minute. She's doing loads of stuff. So it was a weird dynamic because we felt like we put in all the groundwork. She'd gone off and done all these gigs and made a couple of quid and slept and didn't have to do all the interviews. Like, when you're in the X Factor house, people think you're just sitting there like a celebrity, and you're not. You're up at 5 a.m. You've got to make sure you're fed, dressed. You need to be leaving there's taxis booked like every hour and a half to take you to rehearsals to bring you back. Then you need half an hour to eat. You don't have a chance to speak to your family. Yeah. And they will work here until 11, 12, 1, 2, whatever it takes. And it depends on Simon's mood that week. On a Thursday, he might just go, boom, we're changing it. You aren't doing big band this week. It's Halloween week now. Yeah. Crack on. Find something to wear. Create like a performance. Change all the choreo.
So was he involved then, Simon?
He was involved, but he was involved under a cloak. He had other people to do his heavy work for him.
Yeah, well, we'll speak about him in a minute. Fucking his life. Simon Cowkex. Yeah. So what's gone on after the wildcards turns up and you just...
So it was just a bit of a weird one because I wouldn't say it was resentment, but we felt like we put loads of work in.
Oh, well,
and she just had a 2-month holiday and then I'd come back in, so we were like, what the fuck?
Well, you would. It's obvious. Yeah. It's like justified that you feel resentful, a little bit bitter.
But we were tired. We were exhausted and we really... We'd sacrificed a lot and really put a lot of work in. But that's just how the show goes. The competition, you just roll with the punches, don't you? So everyone was polite and friendly and we made sure she was comfortable and she was happy. And she performed beautifully. Like, we weren't able to perform at that level because our voices were battered like we'd been singing. Bearing in mind, the auditions were in March. This process had gone on since March. We were living in the X Factor house since the end of July, August. It's now December the 11th.
6 months nearly,
I was fucking done in.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was about 3 stone, wringing wet. Like, I was done in. I had nothing left, so it was just...
Did you get out on a boat, like? Did you get...
The lads are going nowhere. Had to have security. We went to the Asda once and we got mobbed, and then from then we just weren't allowed to do anything. It was bad.
Yeah.
So it was just being trapped in the house, which wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think it was Rio Ferdinand's house or someone. It was a football player's house. He used to live in and it rented out. Had a hot tub and a sauna, jacuzzi and all that. So it's not like we were in prison. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We were looked after.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're on stage. Amelia, she's out.
she's gone. So it's me and Little Mix now.
That must have been like, fucking hell. Did you have any idea what was your thoughts? Was you thinking, girl band here, you solitary singer, how's this going to operate now?
I just thought there's 4 camps for them and there's 1 camp for me.
Yeah.
I've got Merseyside. Hopefully I've got the gay vote, and I'll just do my best. That's all I can do at this
They've got 4 different locations, haven't they?
Well, yeah, literally. So, truthfully though, hands on heart, I'd said to Gary, if I come second, I'll be fucking made up. Like, if you can get me second place on this, I'd be made up. I'll be delighted. Yeah. And he said, why is that? I said, look at the people who've gone before me, who've come second. They've all smashed it. And as I said that, my manager come in and showed me a 4-page document, which is all the TV contractual things I had to do. So this morning, we had to be up at 5 a.m. to be there ready to do this morning, the day after the full final. Getting into record, getting the album together, all these different TVs, promos, magazine shoots, everything. And by that point, both myself and Little Mix, and I don't want to speak on their behalf, but I know for a fact, because we've spoken about it since, that we were both just like, we need time off. Yeah. We're at capacity. There's nothing left that we can do. Everyone's just sitting there like that. If you ever see celebrities and they're being interviewed and they're like they're not really paying attention, they can't focus, it's because they just get ran until there's nothing. They just wheel you out like a dog and go on then perform, and then you go back to the hotel and you sit by yourself, and then you get in the car and you sit by yourself, or you can try and get a chance to see your family. It's very, very isolating being a solo performer. Yeah. So the girls were blessed that they had each other, and I think that was a crutch that really allowed them to celebrate doing all this extra work, and what's kept them together for 10 years. Brilliant.
So you come they won.
They won.
And the feelings that you were happy with the fact that you got second by the Saturday.
Oh mate, I was delighted. And you can call it what you want, and it's not even a setup. Like I swear that happened. Yeah. And as we were walking up to the final and whatever, we came out on this big automated thing, and it was like had all, O Fortuna and fire, and it was dramatic. And I looked at Gary and he looked at me and I went, they've got it, haven't they, lad? And he went, yeah mate, they've got it. And I went, it's fucking right. And then we came down on the thing and we walked out, and if you watch the clip back, in fact, get your editor to put it in and watch the clip back, I am smirking because I know already. So I'm like that, just looking directly at the camera, just waiting for it to be said, just waiting because I knew already. I wasn't hurt, I wasn't upset, I was delighted. I was going to get a little break, I could go and see my dog, I could see my family. Yeah. The girls, obviously what an incredible opportunity to win the first girl group, the first group to ever win. Yeah. Groundbreaking. But a lot of work ahead of them, and the last 10 years has been more of the same.
They've done really well, haven't they?
Smashed it.
Well, they're still only young as well.
Yeah.
Still only babies. Mm-hmm. So Simon Cowell, what's going on there?
I've only met Simon Cowell once via video link. Yeah. And I think it's because of my connection with the show. I think some people could assume that I know him quite well. Yeah. And I don't.
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's just a easy presumption, but I don't. He gave us a Skype call while we were in the house and basically said that we needed to be bigger and better, and that there was budget there, and that we had enough scope to dream bigger because the show was getting a bit flat. So we went round to give everybody individual critique. Thank fuck he was nice to me, because he was very rude to a lot of the other people there from what I remember. Yeah. I remember them prepping the room. He was in LA at the time. And I remember the runners coming in and prepping the room and like dusting the sofa off and, plumping the cushions up and making sure they put an ashtray out for them and whatever. He came in 10 minutes late. We'd all been sat there. There's about 20 of us, all the contestants and whatever, just waiting. Came in about 20 minutes late for this video call. It's like that with the ciggy. Hands the ciggy to this girl. I hadn't even finished smoking. Just hands the ciggy to this girl. She put a fresh one in his fingers and then hands them the ashtray. He has a Budweiser to the side of him. So I was just like, I can't get down with that. That's just not. You just wouldn't have that, you know what I mean? Yeah. In Liverpool, if someone was like that, you'd be like, just look and see, fuck, where the fucking kettle is? Are you mad? So for me to watch that and to see that behaviour, I was like, got me back up a little bit.
Yeah, I can imagine. A bit of a narcissistic
And it made me lose respect, because I thought, everyone gets praised, and all we've been told is stay yourself, stay humble, no matter how much praise you get. Yeah. Simon said to us, it's our job to create the hype, it's your job not to fall for it. And I went, that's clicked with me. That's really clicked with me. And at the time, I was reading The Power of Now by Cowell.
Yeah, ready.
Belter. Yeah. So I was reading that, and I'd have the headphones on, I'd be listening to like relaxation music to calm myself down before going out on stage. And all of these things that I was learning about myself and my ego and what I was capable of, just associating my thoughts, the I to the me. The voice in there is not me, it's just the thought, it's the observer, it's not who I am. It's just the person who observes. And when I observed that, I thought, can't get down with that. That's not...
So your awareness had grown by that stage?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I was a different person from the March. By the December, I was like, okay, cool. I've got a clue now. Yeah. I know. I still made mistakes and I still had room for growth. I think I always will, but it was really interesting to get into that industry and to learn just how manipulative... I'm sorry if you're picking this up on the mic. My belly's like... Can you hear it? Bad, isn't it? Just how manipulative the industry is, and how difficult it is to trust people, and how you've got to be careful with your money because people spend it for you, and how if you look at someone the wrong way, or that they perceive to be the wrong way, or
a lot of sensitive jobbies in there.
100%, and people that tell a story soon as look at you. You're in a room with someone, a story would be out. I'd be like, really? It's not that important. Like, are you going to make that much money? Like, is it worth it? Yeah. Integrity was out the window. No one was asked about that. And unfortunately, I did become a bit cynical for about 2-3 years off it. I was just like, it is what it is. I know that I believe, because my family said that they were voting for me, towards the final, and it was saying, you'll vote for Amelia Lily, you'll vote for Little Mix, whatever it was. The votes weren't going through. So in my head, I was like, I'm not buying it. I've seen him and I know what he's about. I've seen behind the scenes. Do you know what the worst bit for me was? Seeing behind the scenes of things. Yeah. We had Jim Henson's The Muppets came. Broke my heart. I seen behind the scenes. I seen the person with his hands up Kermit's ass, and it ruined me. It absolutely ruined me. I thought, nah, that's it now. There's nothing else that could break my heart more than that. The Muppets, I've just seen them, not live. But yeah, I became a bit cynical at the whole industry, and it was hard. But from doing that, I was lucky enough to get a record deal, which I kind of got shoehorned into rushing out and getting it out, striking while the iron was hot, and momentum was the word of 2012. So I was the first person to do my own single on the X Factor arena tour. It had never been done, and that was really cool. I enjoyed doing that. Recorded the album, got a couple of singles out that were top 10, so I was happy with that. And then I was in the studio recording, going out gigging and doing different bits and bobs around the country, and that was a lot of fun.
So financially, did they support you in the beginning?
They would ask us what our outgoings were. Yeah. So my outgoings weren't like
massive.
They weren't huge. You know what I mean? I had a car, a dog to look after, and bills and whatever. So you'd get like per diems to like make sure you had food and whatever for there and then. But then they do like a little direct debit, and you get like £600 or whatever to cover your rent. Yeah. To cover the bits that would go like massively tits up because you can't just drop everything.
Yeah, of course.
But luckily we managed to get. As soon as we all made it to the live shows, we managed to get a commercial deal with Marks and Spencer's. So everybody got like a nice little chunk of money to just keep them afloat. The band's got that and a bit more, and they can split it out. Duos got this, solo artists got the other. So we all had a couple of quid in our pockets. Yeah, it was nice.
You were young, you got a few quid in your pocket. Life's full of hope.
I rang my ma crying. I went, listen, you're not going to believe this, Never seen this much money in my life. She went, what have you? I was like, oh, girl, money here, money. She went, if you need anything, just ring me. I'm going to buy a laptop. I'll be back. So that was that. But it was a madness.
You know what? It sounds like did you have an agent and everything behind you, like looking after you?
Weren't allowed. You'd have to sign with their management.
Did you feel
before you did the show?
Did you feel like you were getting like misled and misinformed and ripped off in some areas? Well, do you know what? Because I had a similar experience with the film producers when I don't want to mention the names. I've wrote all about it anyway. And,
You know, I wasn't savvy in the industry, and I made a few mistakes. And you know, I thought I should get an agent or something, someone to look after me. And they were saying, no, we're Scousers, you know, our word, you know, our words, our bond, and you know, and we'll look after you. Don't worry, just sign this. And then I felt like the same as yourself. I was rushed into signing contracts, right, for this movie, and I was thinking, they went, and I knew they were misleading me at the end, because they went, if you don't sign it today, it might not get made into a movie, and the financial the
backers,
but might just take a step out. And I was like, oh, I've got to sign it now. And I was signing things without any guidance.
Yeah.
I know, and I found out at the end I got fucking bumped big time on the percentages and a lot, and that, you know, caused me to fucking resent everyone in that field. And they were out for themselves. They weren't out for me. At the beginning, it felt like they were like, yeah, you're important. We value you. But the reality was, I ended up back at a fucking prison cell. Right, this is where it took me. You know, losing everything, lost my house, my car, my job, the fucking lot. And now I've had to build it back up over the years. And I've learned a lesson, and I've got myself an agent in, you know, since on this second book that I published. And I've realised now, with someone who's looking after me, who I trust, fucking hell, life's a bit more, it's a bit more clearer. So for anyone out there who's planning on having a singing career, acting career, or even publishing career, make sure you got someone in your corner.
Yeah.
Especially fucking Scousers. Who would tell you that they're fucking going to be fucking sound, and then they're not.
You trust the Scouser over anyone.
Yeah.
Over anyone.
I'm not going
to... So I understand. But yeah, definitely make sure anyone who's planning on going to work in media, whether it is books, like you were saying, or film, or theatre, whatever it is, have strong representation. Ask people who've been in the industry, who've done it. Find people who are currently working, doing the jobs. There's so much that I've had to learn on the job that I just never knew. Even so much down to like audition technique, what you can and can't post on social media, what to wear, how to show up, places like what can you and can't you put out there for people. One of the biggest things I learned was that your social media that's your shop front, that's your window. Yeah. So when people go to your Instagram or your Twitter, what are they looking at? That's how you're presented. That's how you're identifying yourself. So we've got to make sure that that's clean. So I just post, you know, I put it on my story now. And a lot of people who I get to meet now are like, oh my God, I love your Instagram story. They don't even know I'm a singer. They're like, yeah, I love what you do on Instagram because it's hysterical. But I used to just put loads of funny memes on my page. And I thought, am I actually on about here creating memes? I'm a singer. I need to make sure that I'm out and I'm seeing, doing what I'm doing and putting that forward. So definitely make sure you don't shoot yourself in the foot, so to speak. Keep your shop window tidy and let people know what you're about. And yeah, just keep it clean. So
what happened after you finished the X Factor, and you've come second, you know, you got these singles and record deals. Did it sort of like fizzle?
I was in the recording studio. I was signed to Sony RCA, and I was in the recording studio every opportunity I got. I was pulling in favours from Gary Barlow. I need this, I need that. Listen, I need something, because I know Little Mix are going to come out of this flying with billions behind them, and the single's going to be amazing. What can I bring to the table? What is it that I can do that's me specifically? What's my niche? What's my target audience? What's my demographic? What is it I want to do, and what do I want to project? And it's always been the same. I want it to be truthful. I want it to lift people up and people to feel good. And I don't want to do anything that's slow. Because if I do slow stuff, I want to do mood lifters. I don't really sing ballads. I don't really like to sing ballads. I'll sing them if I have to, but it's not where my joy is. That's not where my happiness sits. So I like to do uplifting stuff. So that's what I tried to do by recording all my own music. I went down to Surrey and got the album together in about 6-7 weeks, and was writing music every single day with different writers, producers, bringing family down and being like, what do you think of this? Other like partners I've had in the past who were working in music, like, please, can you just give this a listen, wrap your ears around it, just tell me what you think, any tweaks, what you reckon, am I going in the right direction? The album was alright, I was happy with it, it charted, I was pleased with it. The label, because it didn't go in at number 1, well, like, it's a flop. So I was like, okay, cool, let me go back in and let me do what I want to do instead of putting writers on me that you've chosen. Let me pick who I want to work with. Let me gather a body of work that is authentic to me, that tells my story. Because right now, you give me 6 weeks, I kick up the arse and said, hurry up, we need it out for Mother's Day. That works for you. You've got the momentum. You've got everything you want. When do I get mine? Yeah. Because I'm just being the puppet here. I'm Kermit the Frog with someone's hands up his ass. Like, let me just fucking do what I need to do. So I went away for another 9 months and was recording. Got a couple of fucking mad hand-me-downs off Ollie Mears and all that. I was like, not for me. Yeah. It was all like, I think when you're a recording artist in the industry, they like to start you off slow. So they bring you out with something that's okay. But you need to be able to gradually improve on what you're doing. Where I was coming at it was from, I wanted to do like a funk, like an R&B soul pop. It was such an amalgamation of all these different sounds. It was a mixture of like Anastasia and Jamiroquai with Sam Sparrow, but with like a jazz vocal on it. That's what I wanted. That's where I was sitting. And when I listened to it and played it to me mates, they were like, this could get airplay. There's nothing similar to it out there at the minute. And I got so hyped about it, and I probably recorded about 20 songs. None of them being heard. So every time I go to the label, they go, nah, we don't think it's you. We don't think it's you. How can it not be me when I fucking put pen to paper and it's my voice and it's my story? So I realised then that this record label weren't taking me serious. That they had affinity with the X Factor, and they obviously had to look after the winners, and that's their main priority. So I realised then I needed to take myself out of the situation. So I had a couple of meetings with them. I was like, I'm not happy. They said, okay, cool, we're happy to let you go. I said, great. Tried to get out of my management deal as well. That wasn't good. And there's still things in the contract where if I release music now, that the X Factor will still take a big chunk of my money. That management will still take a big chunk of my money because they believe that they fundamentally made Marcus Collins. But I was Marcus Collins before you put me on the telly. That's me. That's my name. That's my brand. That's who I am. It's my identity, actually. It's who the fuck I am. It's on my passport. But they're still trying to have, their slice of the cake. So I was like, cool. I'm going to go into a completely different avenue, and you can all fucking swivel on that. So I went straight into musical theatre and did a 9-month tour with Hairspray. Yeah, show.
That's Olivia loved that.
It's such a good show.
Yeah, it's great. I liked it on the TV as well.
Yeah.
And how was that for you?
Amazing. An absolute rebirth of being a performer, not necessarily having to go, and I was playing a different character, so it was all right. It was less pressure. Felt like I had the label and the management, they all had the foot on my neck for the whole time. I couldn't just be authentic. I mean, there were times when I was like, if you just bleach my skin on this picture, it doesn't look like that, or I wasn't allowed to have my hair in any like specific styles. I had to have it like smoothed out.
So there's a lot of control back in the behind the scenes. That's fucking shite, that, isn't
it? They said they've done research to see who my demographic was, and it was middle-aged, like I'd say 25 to 49 maybe. Yeah. White women in the Northwest, Manchester, Liverpool, like Leeds kind of area. So I was like, interesting. Okay, couple in London, couple in Ireland, bits about. And then some in America randomly. So I was like, okay, cool. So they were trying to play into that target demographic, which meant no more tattoos. Don't want to see your tattoos on show. You're not doing anything that could be seen to be ethnic or urban. Or I had to go on Celebrity Juice. Wasn't allowed to open my mouth. Wasn't allowed to swear. There's an episode of Celebrity Juice and I'm just like that, getting ripped because I couldn't answer back. You've met me, I've got a fast mouth, mate, and I'll be like, whatever. I couldn't have any back and forth because my manager was literally stood in the corner watching me like that. Keep your fucking mouth shut, don't say nothing the whole time.
So how can you be yourself and arrive somewhere, and have that humility? It's not because they want to mould you into something that they want.
Yeah, which was, the mum's like him. Just keep him in a bow tie and, smooth his hair out. He can be black, but not so black that it's offensive. Don't let him wear, no more baseball caps. Just keep him polished and, so he looks all right. He's inoffensive to talk to.
Do you think that happens with most, like, celebrities or, like, they're like, I'm talking, like, massive, big fucking sell-out singers now that are out there. Do you think they get all that thrown at them as well? Or have they got to a point of a platform where they go, I can be. Like, look, Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
The latest fucking picture he's got this mad suit on.
Balenciaga with the pink hat.
Yeah, like
wild. You can pick what you want to do. The more successful you are, the more
choices you have.
The more choice. The more money you've got, the more choice. The more power, the more leverage to go. Got 5 offers on the table. I'll go with that one. I'll go with that one instead. You just pick whatever the fuck you want. Celebrities can pretty much get away with whatever they want.
Did you have any interaction with any of the other X Factor like winners or finalists, like Anthony and Rebecca?
Rebecca's a very good friend, and I'm blessed to have her in my life. She is, she's my centre, and she's the reason why I wanted to come second, because I looked at her career and I thought, mixed race, down to earth, great singer.
Fabulous voice, yeah.
Fabulous voice. I've got all her music. She's all over the Billboard charts in America. She performs down in London in all the jazz cafes and doing amazing work.
Yeah.
And always had time for her. Always had time. So I'm very, very lucky. Anthony, speak to on Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
And his journey's been very unique as well.
I like Anthony. Yeah,
he's one of the lads. He's funny.
Yeah, met him.
Chris Maloney as well.
Yeah, Chris.
Another one. I was at his audition. I said to him, Chris, do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. I'm 2 weeks out the show, or 2 months out the show.
Yeah.
This is what I've learned. If you don't say anything negative, they can't film it. But, you know, people will do what they want to do. You can only lead somebody with the best intentions.
Yeah.
If somebody becomes emotionally triggered in a moment, or you know that someone's
reactions,
them,
yeah.
I refuse to be reactional now.
You've
You've got to take the power back, because you become a supporting role in your own fucking story. And I'm a leading man. I know what I'm doing.
I know it's like you've got to reach that place of like you set your own personal limits, and you can just go, like, you can get people giving you this, that, and the other, and it's just like, okay, so you're definitely unwell.
Yeah.
There's definitely something going on for you, because it's not about me. I'm okay, you know. I've learned that. Like, I'm fine. I like I said before, like going back to when you read comments, and people are like shouting like personal, derogatory remarks. Like, why? You know, you don't even know me. Someone was telling me to get a job the other day. The fucking hell, how fucking busy I am. But yeah, so they don't know.
It's wild. People just like to have to say. That's what
it is.
Just want to be heard. Do you know what I've noticed with the change in social media as well? When I first started, like X Factor and getting all my accounts, it was people saying, "Oh my God, we really want to come and meet you. Let's do this, let's do that." And they'd come to the gigs and you'd see them and you'd let on while you were singing, and you'd have pictures with them after the show, and they'd bring gifts sometimes as well. It was lovely, and we'd be like, "Listen, we've just robbed this out the canteen. Have that. Have you had something to eat? You know, we've warm. We've been stood out for ages." You'd have that kind of rapport with people. And then as the years went on, it just become toxic to the point where it's instead of like, I support this person, it was blocked by this person on this date. What happened to people supporting you and being your fan? Why you now just accruing enemies? Like, I don't understand why you'd want that. People have it on the page. It'll say the profile name and it'll say blocked by, you know, Marcus Collins on this date, Little Mix on this date. There's nothing proud about that. But people do go fishing on Twitter, and I can understand why. I do understand why. I have seen a few threads where I have pissed myself and thought, you know what, you've been absolutely let down the garden path there. You should have seen that coming. But I only laugh because I fell for it myself and I've done it.
I think the likes of Jedward, we're doing a bit of that complaining and explaining. And I just read the threads a few times, but I haven't fucking seen nothing about them for years. But yeah, they were involved with like Lewis and fucking Simon, weren't they? Big way, they didn't really get on.
Do you know why that is?
No.
I'd like to share that today. It's not my business, but here we go. So, Jedward with the first act. Right, am I saying this? Yeah, fuck it, I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Jedward with the very first act to perform on X Factor that said, "We're not signing with your management and we're bringing our own in." And the minute they did that, Simon was like, well, the powers that be were like, "Sound, do what you need to do. You're not going to make it anyway. You know, you're only a gimmick act. We're not asked." So they did. And them lads went on all the different reality TV shows. They went out and spread. Their agent got them everywhere. They were behind wallpaper. They were bringing in money. And that was a brand that Simon had literally given, that the X Factor, the TV show, had given a platform. Yeah. So the minute he realised that they were cashing in and he wasn't making no money off them. That's when the shit hit the fan, and that's when every single person who's done X Factor since has had to sign with their own, with the management that are provided by them, who are in cahoots with Psycho, under the Psycho tax. Everyone's paying. No matter what money you earn, they will filter it out of you in about 18 different ways and make it look good, but Jedward had them off, and that's why I've got respect for them, because they might not look like it. You might think, oh, they're just two Irish lads taking the piss, but they had a business head on them and they absolutely wiped the floor.
Well done.
Goes on them.
So what's going on now with your life? What's we haven't got to that point, have we? There's loads of there's loads that you've spoke about and I've really enjoyed it. But what's going on for Marcus Collins these days?
For me, I still record, write music, and put bits and bobs out there. I don't try and make money from my music anymore. I realised that led me down the wrong path. I wanted to make music because I wanted to entertain, and I love doing it, and I do it for nothing. I have done it for nothing for fucking years, so I'm happy to do it, and it makes it, I get my dopamine from it, so I'm happy to do that. So I post bits and bobs online. I am currently about to start a brand new theatre show, which is going to be very, very exciting. I'm not allowed to say what it is, unfortunately, but it's a belter, and it's a very, very well-known movie, and it's going to be...
Oh, there's loads of guessing though.
It's going to be huge. I can't fucking wait, honestly.
Is it going to be showing in Liverpool?
It's not, unfortunately. It'll be in Manchester, and then it'll be in the West End. So I'm very excited. The original West End cast of that's going to be boss. I'm in university at the minute. I'm studying psychology and counselling. So I'm about to get stuck into my second year of that, which is... I'm loving it and learning so much about myself. Self-diagnosed myself with ADHD last year during lockdown. Was in arts, got told to go and retrain, so I didn't. Was like, I'm going studying clinical psychology. Just did a bit of reading up. I was like, yeah, that's me. I need to go and be seen by a psychiatrist. And he was like, yeah, mate, in a big way, because I've got that many things going on. But most performers are ADHD.
Yeah, but they have, It's like, I've noticed. I've got a few friends who are in the entertainment business and they're quite full on. Yeah. But behind the scenes, they're really they struggle. It's that persona, that front that they put up. Yeah. And then when you're with them, and then they struggle. See, I've done all that over the years. The counselling courses and the self-awareness, and I've read Eckhart Tolle. I've read the Power of Now and the Road Less Travelled. And everything, right? Because I was a fucking complex fucking individual that needed some kind of fucking something to take me away from what was going on. Yeah. Because it was just about, for me, it was all about drugs. I'll just bury myself, under massive amounts of drugs because I couldn't cope with
escapism.
Yeah, I couldn't cope with the day, the feelings, the memories. The way I was brought up, and I had to blame for it. Everyone was getting it. It was because my mum brought us up and beans on toast, and we never had this, and we lived in a shit area, and fucking the school I went to, they didn't like me because my dad set me dead, and there's all this going on, and the path that chose was because of this, that, and the other. And I got to a point where I understood that there was something called choices, right? And I never had that opportunity to choose anything. So there was no in our house, it wasn't you got this jam and that jam.
Yeah,
you got that.
Jam.
That's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you see your mates out, they got that, and they got this, and they got that kind of peanut butter and skippy peanut butter. I was like, fucking hell, this is fucking mad, isn't it? They've got choices in their house, we haven't got them. So whenever it says you had choices, no, never. Yeah. I had fucking nothing, mate. I had a load of struggles, and there was a lot of contributing factors that led to it, but, I'd suggest it to anyone reading. Especially writing for me was it was the catharsis of writing. It was really therapeutic because I couldn't really invent a story and then read it and go, yeah, that's not really me, but I'll put it out there. I said this. I said my biggest fear was falling in love with a fella called Bob in fucking Thailand.
We've all done it.
Right, transgender. That was the big. I thought I can't write about that. I can't write the fact that I changed my name to Yusuf Muhammad whilst I was in prison, but in Thailand. Just for a bit of food, prayed for a year, right? Just so they fed me, and fucking that's it. And then learn to read the Quran. I couldn't imagine having to be honest. But when I did write that down, and I eventually got published, it became one of the most attractive, honest, breathtaking books you could read because it was a Scouser telling the truth. Well, I'm not saying just a Scouser, it was me telling the truth and sharing all my fears. And because I was like, oh, I was cringing, fuck, I can't. I'm going to get judged here.
Yeah.
That was it was the pride that, like, I used to think what you think of me.
Yeah. Pride comes before the fall, doesn't it? Every
pride
time.
comes before the fall. And for me, it was like, fucking hell, I was doing your thinking, what does he think of me? And then in the end, it's not about you thinking me, it's what I think of myself.
Yeah.
And instead of running around the city with the wind blowing through my shoulder, wondering where I was fucking belonging, trying to cultivate the grass under everyone else's feet instead of my own.
Yeah.
That's when I started to grow.
Yeah.
And that was like the likes of Power, and I was in a relationship breakup with some girl. And it fucking made me worse, to be fair to people. So,
you have to do better then, don't you?
I had it on fucking headphones and everything. I was reading a book and, going to bed, still sobbing, curls up in a fetal position, thinking it's fucking not working. And, and you're only in the moment. There's no pain in the flesh and there's no pain in that. Right now, you're just okay. But trying to be present, for 90% of people out there is a fucking graft.
Yeah, it is.
It's still for me today, that meditation, I find it. I do meditate when I go to the gym. I think that's because, focused. And that's what meditation is for me. It's just being, or even driving. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of, like, positive...
There's a lot, I try and be as positive as possible with me, I try and do a meditation on, like, a yoga class as well. Yeah. To try and, neutralise. I've been on the CBD and all that for years, just trying to balance why my brain was working so fast and why I had so many ideas and why I always wanted to do things there and then. Very impulsive. I'm the type to get up in the middle of the night and peel the wallpaper off, be like, I can't look at that no more, it's got to go now.
It's in your head and it's fixed.
If it's there, I'm doing it. If I think it's happening. Yeah. And it's been a gift and a curse, I guess. But I understand what you're saying. It's good to meditate and it's good to take yourself into a place to try and neutralise and to just catch your breath and allow yourself to be present and choose how you want to move forward. Yeah. That lockdown kicked my ass, I'll tell you the truth now. And a lot of people I meet out are like, oh my God, I voted for you, it's nice to see you, my mum loved you, or my mate loved you, like we came to see you at this and that show. But what they don't see is like the behind the scenes where you're sitting there, no job, no work coming in, skint, you spent your savings, you had to give your car back, you're in home and bargain, you've got 30 quid, you've got to make it last. They don't see any of that. And it's like there's an expectation if you're connected, if there's a synergy or an affinity to you with TV. I don't know whether you feel this because obviously you work in media now and everyone knows you from the boxing and the movies and the books and all that. And your job. That there's a certain level of expectation that people feel. I'm
on my arse, lad.
Oh, that means fuck all. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I've decided to stop playing into it. Because there's this narrative that looks like, oh, well, your mate's with Little Mix, or you live in Crosby, or you've done this, or you go on holiday to Dubai. Got fucking mates there. They're my mates. You gotta stay in his spare room and stay on the couch and catch up, and we go out for dinner. And, I make myself available to those who make themselves available to me, and I'm open. But I'm not a multi-millionaire because of being on TV. It doesn't mean that I think I'm better than anyone. None of that. I'm just me. And it's hard sometimes because TV makes it look like you're someone you're not. It's their job to create the hype. It's your job not to believe it.
Yeah, that was the only fucking good thing you got from him, wasn't
it? That was it.
Right. I've really enjoyed speaking to you, Marcus. Do you know what? So at the end of every podcast, I always ask for like a pearl of wisdom from the guest. And, I'd always say to them, what would you say to a young Marcus Collins coming through the doors of life? If you had the opportunity now sitting across from you, a younger version of yourself, what guidance would you give them?
If I was telling that to myself, what guidance? Don't run. Sit in it, because there's a saying, it's a Maya Angelou quote, and she says, the elevator to success is broken, take the stairs. Get yourself there. Because I truly believe I'd be doing this theatre work had I not done X Factor. Yeah. I've never been booked for a theatre job off the back of X Factor. I've done it because I've beaten everybody out who auditioned, which I'm so lucky to have been able to say I've done that. But yeah, don't try and cut corners. Don't try and avoid your pain. Sit in it, because the only way out is through. Don't try and run. Don't try and go and take drugs. Don't try and drink yourself out of it. Don't go on all these holidays and hide. Do what you need to do. Sit in it. Have the therapy. And forgive yourself, forgive others, and move forward in peace. Don't carry it. It's like carrying pieces of hot coal, all that resentment, all the anger and the frustration of, well, you did this to me, you said that, you stole from me, you raised me, like whatever it is. You can't carry it because you'll be crushed underneath it. So smile, enjoy yourself, do things that make you happy, and be kind. And that's it.
Brilliant.
Don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a fucking dickhead.
Thanks. Nice one for that.
Nice one, mate.